Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons Remake. Originally released in 2013, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons was the first game owned by the now legendary Joseph Fares, who would go on to make the fantastic A Way Out and the even more prestigious It Takes Two. Before Fares and company formed the studio that made those titles, they ended up by making Brothers, which is widely regarded as a significant release for the early mainstream indie scene. Reviewing this remake in isolation of the original is tricky. The core experience is essentially the same game, with increased graphical fidelity and quality of life features hailing the differences for this version. And while that means it is equally as enjoyable to experience as it was in 2013, it equally doesn't do much to justify its existence. The remake has the same narrative as the original. Two brothers head on a journey to save their father from a deadly illness by collecting water from the Tree of Life, and encounter various friendly faces, hostile threats, and traumatizing hardships along the way. The beauty of Brothers is that its story can be universally resonated with, as it's delivered largely wordlessly. You can feel the joy and the pain of the brothers just by their facial expressions and body movements, and these are areas that make the improved animations really help to spotlight. I thought much about my own brother and my family whilst experiencing this narrative, and those thoughts really hit deeply when you see how the game wraps up. Art direction is forever. While the original release was built on Unreal Engine 3, this remake used Unreal Engine 5, and so the leap in visual fidelity between these two is quite dramatic. Many environments are far-flushed and more like life. Character models, even for those with a minor role, are packed with the neat details and personality, and certain areas, especially chapters 3 and 7, have visual additions resulting in much improved presentation compared with what's seen before. There are plenty of cool changes that fans of the original are likely to greatly appreciate. Furthermore, I don't consider these visuals to be a blanket improvement to the original. I feel the fairy tale nature of this experience fits the more cartoony art style better, and there are many areas where the subdued color choices make some backgrounds appear blander than they previously did. As it stands, this is one of the first renewed indie games to receive the remake treatment, and I can't help but feel that going down this route in the first place misses the point of the current period of the indie scene. Few would argue that early successful indie games like Journey or Limbo need a remake treatment because their strong and direction makes their visuals truly timeless. I never took issue with the original's art design, so seeing it remade in this manner feels deeply unnecessary. Ultimately, I'd recommend watching a side-by-side comparison so you can make your own judgment, as they both contain aspects that set themselves apart. Harmonic puzzling. The unique single-player cooperative gameplay of Brothers is fully retained in this remake. Through the simulationless control of the brothers, you'll solve various puzzles, complete platforming challenges, and defeat or avoid the occasional flaw or two. It uses its short runtime to its full advantage, consistently delivering interesting gameplay scenarios like the hang glider sequence and the bow traversal, before tossing them away from the other equally compelling ideas like getting the right mountain, gold, and climbing over the cliff with the help of a troll. The controls do require something getting used to, but shouldn't take that long, as each brother only requires inputs from the sticks and a single trigger. Nonetheless, if you still find this tricky, one nice addition is the ability to play brothers in co-op either locally or via remote play. While this wasn't the intended way to experience brothers and will certainly change how certain segments of the game feel, it is a welcome option to have. Verdict. It would be disingenuous of me to rate the Brothers remake negatively because of the existence of the original. A lot of effort and polish went into recreating this classic indie title, and I found it equally enjoyable to re-experience on my beefy main computer as it was to play the original for the first time on the humble Steam Deck. Ultimately, I could only recommend this remake if you meet at least two of the following criteria. A. You haven't played the original. B. you prefer how this version approaches its visuals, and C, you want to play in the game is co-op. Outside of that, the remake is just not worth it unless via deep sale. While there are some neat changes, nothing is substantially improved to the point where I'd say this is definitely a way to play Brothers. I have no hesitation in saying that this is the most unnecessary video game remake ever made, and I don't think much would have been lost if the original was the only version that existed.